What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here at Data Dash, and today is November 13th of 2020. Well, folks, I hope you are having a fantastic day wherever you are. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about Bitcoin smashing towards 16,500. We're going to be talking about the true signs you can look for in order to spot when we're going to hit the next altcoin cycle. And along with that as well, talk about the continued growth in DeFi and crypto abroad. We've got lots of things to discuss in this video that you guys won't want to miss right after our quick sponsor. And our sponsor for today's episode is Ledden Io. For those of you out there holding digital assets long-term like myself, why not put them to work? Ledden Io offers a wide range of different cryptocurrency-related services. Their Bitcoin and USD savings accounts let you earn the best risk-adjusted rates on your cryptocurrency assets. Their Bitcoin-backed loan program lets you avoid a taxable event while also being able to take a stablecoin or dollar loan off of your Bitcoin. And their B2X program allows you to double your exposure to your underlying Bitcoin. Check out the link down below in the description to get a 250,000 Satoshi bonus and start putting your assets to work today. Alrighty, everyone, so let's go ahead and dive into the video here. Starting off, as we always do, over the last 24 hours, the vast majority of cryptocurrencies are in a no trend scenario here, between 1% to 2% to the upside or downside. More favoring, however, though, up here to the green. And we can start to see that a lot of altcoins are starting to follow in the trail of Bitcoin, and many in this case are starting to lead. Again, with the trend of DeFi leading the market by far. We can see SushiSwap, Uniswap, Aave, Yearn, Augur, a lot of plays here from DeFi leading the market, as well as Litecoin getting a good boost here over the last 24 hours, which we'll dive into a little bit later. But I want to go ahead and really just contextualize how much of an optimistic market we're living in right now, guys. And that is the fact that Bitcoin right now has only had 12 days in its history as an asset that it has had a price above where we're currently at the moment. Now, again, that might vary a bit in regards to maybe the change since the article, but roughly speaking, less than 2 weeks of price history that Bitcoin has been around these highs. And the crazy thing is that even though, yes, we're not exactly at those all-time highs, and I think all of us remember that each day it was just amplifying more and more, the really fascinating thing that I've always tried to project to people, or at least kind of explain to some degree, is that we will never have the same type of hype that we had back in December of 2017 when Bitcoin is at 20K as we will this time around, right? So in this case, we'll never have this kind of hype here in this portion of time when we revisit back to the highs at 20K. And the reason why is because no one wants to buy something when it's just revisiting its all-time highs. They want to buy something when it's gone parabolic, when you look at the chart and you see a big vertical line far beyond any previous point of resistance. And that's true with pretty much every market. People, generally speaking, want to buy when everyone else is buying. And right now, not everyone is buying. And that's a great thing because we want to buy cheap. We want to buy before the next cycle starts, before we break above 20K, right? I'm not telling you guys to buy anything. It's not financial advice. I'm just saying that if you're kind of an investor and you're trying to be smart money in this case, you get in before the next cycle, which I personally consider, even though some people would say that we're in a cycle, I consider that to be later on once we break and above the all-time highs. But just taking a look at the chart here, Bitcoin's looking phenomenal. Yesterday closed another 3.77% up for the day. In this case, we're holding the vast majority of the gains just slightly down here from the close. And if we take a look at the hourly chart here, we can see this just a nice general cool down here, looking to see if we can find support and climb higher. But again, that momentum is maintaining very, very strong. We're constantly setting in, broadly speaking, higher lows and higher highs on the general time frame here on the daily candles, and this is looking phenomenal. The momentum here is building up. If you take it here to the weekly chart, you can see that on a consistent weekly basis since back here in October, it's been bad to bet against Bitcoin. Up 6.59%, 1.29%, 13.19%, 5.54%, 12.55%, and this week alone, we're not even done, already up nearly about 5% at 4.88%. This is really awesome to see, guys. And I just think, again, the momentum here can't be understated. This is a really exciting time. We're really not far away from where we were at back here in late December. That's the important thing to look at here. If we close at this weekly high here in November of this week, right, we will have set the highest weekly close since back here in the middle of December in 2017. People forget sometimes just how much we moved during these 2 weeks here between the beginning of December and the mid part of December. We went all the way here from 11,257 all the way up to nearly $20,000. Do we think that that's going to happen this time around? I don't think it's going to just shoot up like a rocket, guys, to 20K personally. I think that soon we are going to probably experience a correction, probably around 17K to 18K. And then eventually we'll test back up to that 20K level very soon. But again, we've been keeping our target, a conservative target, as I've been mentioning multiple times, of Q1 of 2021. So I think that we're definitely going to see something in January. With this type of momentum, there's a very good chance of it. And I'm very, very excited that you guys are here for that journey. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about altcoins here. I wanted to spend some time to just kind of analyze the chart here for altcoin dominance. A lot of people are curious, with Nick, with Bitcoin raging the way that it is, are you still confident about altcoins leading, especially seeing as over the last 3 days we had a decline in altcoin dominance? Yes, I actually am still very confident in altcoins. I haven't been dramatically shifting in and out of positions that much, right? In this case, I've been sticking true to my swing trade holdings, as we've been talking about in the newsletter. And the key thing here is that, broadly speaking, we can take a look as we're looking at the hourly chart. We have price action or dominance action all the way back from October to November. We're setting in higher significant lows so long as this holds. We'll see if it does or it doesn't. But right now, we're setting in higher lows here. And now it's a matter of getting above this resistance point at 35.5% and setting in a resistance point around 36% or 36.5%, right? And this is generally what I'm going to emphasize here when it comes to looking at charts, guys. A lot of people are going to complicate the whole process and use a dozen different indicators. The best thing you can do in order to position yourself to buy in when the momentum has already started to establish, and that you're going to be buying in at a point where there's a clear reversal rather than trying to catch a falling knife, which in most cases traders are not going to be able to do and be successful. In this case, we want to look for higher lows and higher highs. Very simple principle. Looking at, pretty much in this case, when you're looking at individual altcoins, I would recommend looking at the daily chart, broadly speaking. So we can see here, for example, we set in a low here on November 5th for Ethereum to Bitcoin. We set in a higher relative high, right? And now we set in a higher relative low. We want to see one more higher relative high. In this case, we can get a confirmation that ETH is going to be the play to be in versus Bitcoin, right? Just broadly speaking, I'm not saying that ETH will be the perfect, most top performing coin out there, but you get my point in this case, where we eventually want to set in a higher resistance level here in price, right? And the basic way that this would look on a chart, again, if we were just to use our polyline tool here, would be coming up here, right? And in many cases, making that previous relative high new support and continuing to climb higher. We basically want to buy at that confirmation point once we hold there. That's a point where we can get really confident. And if you want to play on the safer side, you could wait till you get back above that relative high. But again, it's subjective depending on the trader. This is the key principle I focus on in this case. Taking a look at Litecoin as well. Litecoin got a really big bounce here over the last 24 hours. Is it catching my attention just yet? Not quite. It's not that I'm not interested in Litecoin. In fact, when you take a look at the long-term chart here, we're getting very, very close here towards the bottoming range that we've seen time and time again here in the past for Litecoin against Bitcoin. And after that, it's usually very quick in this case that we tend to get some form of rebound when we get down to this range, right? So anyways, again, just keeping an eye on that. But again, we're looking for the same principle here. This is on the hourly chart here, but it shows you on the time frame here, right, that again, there's a lot of lower lows and lower highs even on this time frame. So we have to first see it here that we're going to be getting those higher lows and higher highs, and we'll also want to see it here on the daily chart, right? You can still use the daily chart when analyzing this as well. You can see we have lower lows and lower highs. Again, we got to start reversing that trend. And all these kind of candles, we not only need to hold it instead of selling off those gains, but we need to establish a good higher low and then a higher high. Taking a look at Chainlink. This is one that I know a lot of people have gotten excited about. We talked about Chainlink back in 2018, and it's been a phenomenal performer since back here in 2018. However, it's had a nice cool down as well, closing down on a lot of the summer gains against Bitcoin. Well, what's happening here? Same exact thing. Lower highs and lower lows. However, there's a really important thing that you can use in order to kind of spot the change in momentum that can get you a bit more excited about markets. And again, we'll draw your attention to keep more focused on it and look for those higher lows and higher highs. And that is the momentum and decline of the highs and the lows. Take a look at this here, guys. Slowly but surely here, you can generally see here that the highs are starting to establish themselves. These significant highs on the candles and the price are starting to kind of slow down here. And you can really see it with the bottoms here, right? There was a significant decline here, and then the secondary bottom here wasn't too far away, right? And you'll generally see this as price comes down towards the midway point on the cycle. So you can see for 2020, we really had our first phase here. You can generally see here that we had our first kind of major correction over in this price range. And then after that, we continued the secondary portion of the cycle, which happens in a very short period of time. And it tends to be that we come down, find long-term support around this range where we cut down about 50% of the gains of that cycle, or somewhere around 40-45%. We start to set an established foundation to move higher. That's what we're looking for here. And it looks like we're getting exactly that for Chainlink. Now, I want to talk about one last thing here is really the fundamentals here of DeFi. I can tell you guys firsthand here, being the founder of a DeFi smart wallet out there, and if you guys haven't checked it out, it's called Digifox. I highly recommend you guys check it out if you're interested in earning higher rates of interest and making swaps through decentralized exchanges. But if you've been keeping up with DeFi, you probably would think in this case, if you're looking at the token prices, that there's not much growth going on. But it actually tends to be that there is a lot of growth going on right now. In fact, some user numbers in this case, or the total user numbers for DeFi in just 6 weeks, has gone up by 55%. Now, I will be going ahead and making it very clear that we have not had a 55% growth in adoption of DeFi. All right, this is something that I want to be as neutral as possible on this, but also speak to the positive element of this. The one negative thing about this is that people just simply are taking total user addresses in the DeFi space. And just like how there's increase in total value locked up, both of these metrics don't really determine if we have an increase in the total number of users, right? Now, I do believe that this general growth here is relatively true. Some of it is going to be people creating multiple addresses, but at the same time, what I like seeing, and I do believe is happening, is that even during this period of time where the tokens aren't expanding in price, we're still seeing growth in users here. Compound's growth here looking a bit more artificial than what we're seeing here on Uniswap. Uniswap looks a lot more organic here. And I wonder if in this case for Compound, there's some kind of incentive mechanism, or someone just basically using different addresses in this case to have maybe more privacy. I don't know. But again, all in all here, if you actually take a look at the assets here, assets are expanding, not at the pace of the users. I would say total value locked up is a better metric here to see general growth and adoption, because at the end of the day, I want as many people using, in this case, DeFi as possible, or interacting with DeFi. But to be fair, total value locked up is a lot more important. And some of the platforms that played a big role in that user growth, like DYDX, haven't gotten anywhere near the ETH highs that they had back in November 10th of 2019, right? A lot of these DeFi platforms have been around for some time, but they're not seeing kind of the incredible growth that we're seeing on the user chart in the sense of their assets, right? Compound just got back up to its relative highs back in June of 2020, in this case for its previous ETH holdings, for example. But anyways, again, like I said, guys, if you're interested, you can check out Digifox down below. If you've got some altcoins as well that you're looking to buy, we cover up to 50 different ERC20 tokens, a lot of different altcoins out there in the Ethereum blockchain, so you can definitely find them there and buy it through decentralized exchanges for lower fees than what you'd usually find on Coinbase. Not bad if you can get it. And last but not least as well, we've got a game night going on, so if you're kind of new to DeFi and it seems overwhelming, check out the link down below. Check out our Discord where we're going to be having this event. And we're really excited for you guys to join us. It's going to be this afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'd love to see you guys there. And we're actually going to be giving away access to Digifox Gold, which gives you lower fees, gives you extra benefits on the platform. And in the future, it's going to give earlier access to features. So if you're interested in that, definitely come and participate. We'd love to have you there. It should be a fun learning experience and a fun game we can all play. But outside of that, everyone, that's it for the video today. I'm super excited to see how we continue to climb here for Bitcoin. It's incredible to see how the market's just constantly recovering here. Every dip seems to be getting bought up here. And as we continue to check on the hourly, the daily, weekly, monthly time frame, things are just looking more and more optimistic as we set up for a new phase for crypto going into Q1 of 2021. I'm excited to be here with you all on this journey. I appreciate the constant support you guys have been showing. And until the next video, I'll see you all in the next one. Take care, everyone.